Matoke. Let's keep on Matoke.
How you do it? Stop calling people Matoke. You're calling people banana.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Welcome to On the Couch with the Nubons.
On the couch with the Nubons. On the couch with... I thought I would just remix.
Antona, there's no remix. We're trying to get to the original song.
Yeah.
So...
We're still getting there.
How can you remix a song that we're trying to get to?
Because I'm a creative and
Come
you can't
on
judge
now.
my creativity.
Exactly.
Like you, that's my truth.
Oh, yeah. Yay.
That is your truth and is my truth.
Yay. Okay.
How you been, man?
Tired.
Since I saw you like 5 minutes ago.
Tired, dog.
Tired. Yeah. It's that time of the year, guys.
Aye, neboni time of the year, guys. I can't life anymore.
Hey.
I am tired, bro.
Click like if you are tired. Just click. You might be too tired to leave a comment, but just click like.
Just put a hand up emoji.
Yeah, actually, if you're tired.
So, aye.
But we're here.
We're
here.
Yo.
Yes, season 2.
Yeah, man. We made it.
We made it to where?
To season 2,
Season
bro.
2, okay.
No,
it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and I'm grateful.
Again, not many podcasts that started this year don't get past 3 episodes. A very large majority of them, and only less than 3% past 21 episodes.
Yes. So we still need to get to 21.
No, Shafiq at all. At 21, would you do something for me?
21.
Would you do something for me?
I actually don't know that song. You sing it all the time, but I actually don't know it.
Wow.
It's really embarrassing.
And you're a TikTok mom.
What do you mean a TikTok mom?
You're a mom on TikTok.
Like, what does that even mean?
It's a category.
I'm an individual on TikTok.
Never.
Excuse me?
Never.
TikTok.
TikTok is for TikTokers. Once you're a mom on TikTok, you're a TikTok mom.
No. I don't even make mom content.
Like TikTok fathers who are TikTokers in secret.
No.
They only watch TikTok when they're in the toilet.
Have you
pooping.
seen that old lady on TikTok? The old lady who goes...
all my haters are dead.
Yes!
Yes, I like that chick.
I love that chick.
I see her on Instagram. I love that chick.
So TikTok is for everyone.
Yo.
Anyway.
She's like, yeah, when I was in high school, they were haters. Guess where they all at now? They dead. I'm alive.
I'm going to go see all my haters.
Yeah.
And she rocks up at
goes to the cemetery.
Like, yeah. Hey, live your life, babes.
Anyway.
Speaking of cemeteries.
Wow.
Is it too dark?
Unalive content.
What?
Unalive content.
Hey, yeah. That's where we are.
Anyway.
So speaking about cemeteries, like my song of the day is kind of linked. It's gonna make sense when I sing it.
I think it's gonna make sense for you, dog.
Well, then you'll understand my truth.
But where have you been?
I was just messing around.
You went to the mountains, ne?
Hey, listen.
You're coming back with
with the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anyway, so this is the song of the day.
Yes.
It's so hard to say goodbye
to yesterday.
You gave it so hard. And I'll take with me the memory.
Do you know that's how...
To be the sunshine after the rain. What are you going to say?
No, finish.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this road... I mean, yeah, that's a whole thing.
What was the click before Boys to Men?
All for One.
No, man.
I swear.
No, dog.
Okay, I don't know.
The black group as well. Black boy band.
Temptations.
Hey, my dog. Temptations are your mother's clique.
I don't know what you're saying.
What are they, man? And the dude who left that clique started working with Boys to Men.
Now you're going into the archives.
Anyway, I'll remember. I'll remember. But I was saying it's because of this whole choir thing that got them signed.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, hopefully if you remember, just like you'll take us on a side road.
Check it. What is it? Anyway, whatever, bro.
Anyway, so
Let's take us to the cemetery. I'm fine.
I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I thought that song was about dead people.
Wow. Unalive people.
Unalive people.
Wow.
Like I thought it was like a song you sing at funerals.
Wow.
Not that I'd ever been to a funeral where that song was sung,
Wow.
but I just thought American people sing that song at funerals.
But maybe that's why that song is so great, because it's a breakup song that makes you think. Because breakup makes you think of death.
I mean, it is.
It makes you feel like something is done.
Yes. But here's the thing, it was only like in my adult years did I
What?
realize that it was
It's a
actually a
breakup
breakup
song.
song. Maybe like in
So
the last couple of years. But also we had a Boys to Men tape
Yes.
that my mom, I don't know, somebody bought, one of my parents. And
Cassette.
Yes.
Wow.
No, cassette was the sound. VHS was the,
Oh, okay.
I think, I might be wrong.
I'm
Anyway,
not sure, but some people call cassette tapes.
we did,
Anyway.
we use them interchangeably.
Yeah.
So so we had a Boys to Men, like the story of Boys to Men, like, you know, that tape that we used to watch. And when that song plays, they are remembering a guy who passed away. So I think that also cemented in my mind that
Even
it was a
them.
funeral song.
Anyway,
So I'm like, yeah, it's very sad. It's a sad song.
it is. There's a couple of sad songs that Boys to Men.
But they're like sad but nice. What is that? What is that feeling?
That's the brilliance of who they are.
I guess so.
But anyway,
Anyway.
you want to break up with me? Though?
No, I don't. Like, 'cause this is how I'm announcing.
Yeah, for
No, I'm not throwing you away.
At the time of the recording of this episode, the newborns were together. At the end of the recording, Lily broke the news.
Oh my gosh. And then release a YouTube video.
Wow.
You know when YouTube couples break up and then
Wow.
they'll say like, we broke up, and then they disable the comments. Like, I watch videos of YouTube couples who I don't even know when I see that. I'm like,
Bro,
it's so scandalous.
I'm not putting out a video.
It's content. They want to make money out of this.
Even after the Sluganing. So
anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of, well, it's not really speaking of breaking up. It's not related at all.
Yes.
But the thing I wanted to talk about today was, so I remembered there was years ago, I think it was Chris Rock's Never Scared, where he's in the suit. So I think we also had that on VHS.
Was
it
that
DVD?
2006?
I don't know, bruh. That couldn't have been VHS. I don't know what we had it on. But there's this set he does about how people are either married and bored or single and lonely. And then he creates, obviously, the comparison and the parallels.
So who's happy?
I mean, clearly no one.
Wow.
But like in there, like he talks about how, you know, those married couples who go to a restaurant and then they're there while they're trying to mop and they just won't leave and they keep ordering the coffee and they're like, what's in the coffee? It's water. Because they just don't want to go home to each other. And it kind of was like a thing where, like, I don't know, I think with what people see online with marriage, it's almost like you either get the love lives here, hashtag, you know, babe. I don't know. We don't do hashtags, but when people who do hashtags, like those people, like
Power couple.
Yes, couple goals,
Yes.
relationship goals, where it feels like there's one extreme of just like this. Everything is rosy, everything is wonderful, and who doesn't want a wonderful life? So obviously, you see that, you're like, oh wow, oh my word. Or you get like the other end where. Not really online, but I think it's also like in person, where people make jokes about like, I have to go home to our wives. Oh my, like it's almost like this.
Ball and chain.
Yes, and like I was reading a blog, not a blog, it was like a Reddit thread or something, where they were talking about signs where one of the telltale signs this person sees. What am I saying?
Did English break up with you now?
It said goodbye yesterday. Like,
is English having an unalive moment with you now?
It's been the whole day. Like, I'm
Wow.
trying so hard. Anyway,
Sheesh.
but I think that the title was how people tell that married couples or just people in relationships are unhappy. And one of them was this guy saying that he used to hang out with this guy who would always make jokes about how he kind of hated his wife. And eventually he was like, can you please stop joking about that? Like, if you're not happy there, then leave. And I think the jokes thing happens a lot.
Yes.
And someone might be like, oh, it's just a joke.
Yes.
So I don't know.
There's truth in every joke.
That's what makes them funny. Right? Anyway, I think the whole thing is just like, what is the truth about marriage? Like, what is the...
Yes.
You know, like, does it have to be one or the other?
But I think people tend to live and we don't admit this, nah? And I've done this and we've done this, but we tend to live from reaction.
Okay.
Not often, but like things we're passionate about, you know, when somebody touches those things, then we would either like, you know, dig our heels even more in the sand and put our flags in that thing. And we want to show that we're against whatever, you know, is opposing whatever belief we have or belief we hold or whatever. And so then we start living off of reaction. And I think you get the love lives here, couple goals.
Do you believe those people?
I don't. Power couple. Whatever. But it's me.
Why don't you believe them?
It's me.
I want to know why you don't
It's
believe
me.
I know why I don't believe it, but I'm just like a pessimist. I'm a recovering pessimist. Is that right? Yes. But why don't you believe? Because you're the happy one in this relationship.
I'm happy, but like... And maybe because it just seems too posery, like if that's a word, and I'm making it up. Like I'm just like, but it's again, it's because I recognize that all of us live from reaction, but then other people tend to react kakulu.
Yes.
Where I'm like, bro, it's okay. And I think Abo Love Lives Here, Power Couple, tend to react from a narrative that was created by, or not even created, but that was perpetuated by the previous generation, you know. So we're not going to be the generation that beggars us. We're not just going to be a bunch of imbogotos, but instead
I don't want to be an imbogoto.
No, hundreds, bro. but we want to show that love lives here. We want
romance.
And like the internet, as young as it is, you know, I'm like Facebook is just over 10 years, right? It is. Facebook started in 2005, so 2015 was what? 10 years.
Do you know what year we're in?
2000.
It's almost 20 years old.
It's almost, yeah.
Because you said over 10 years sounds like it's 11.
Yeah, sure, but it's not that old.
You lost track. I still think, remember?
It's not that old though.
No, it's fine. I thought maybe you lost track of time. Not it, like, you know how I still think remember 2010 Love to Be Here? That campaign by Love Life? Yeah. In my mind, that was still 10 years ago. And it wasn't 10 years ago.
No, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, it's like Facebook is not that old. Like the social media is not that old.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying.
But because of how like rapid it, like how quickly it changes and evolves, makes it seem like, yeah, see, this thing has been here forever, but it hasn't, right? And I think because we like still trying to find like our feet on the internet, you know. So I'm like, we might think, oh, we know what the thing works, and then suddenly there's a new update or new way of doing things or a new trend or whatever. So we're trying to find our feet, and I think the pushback and the reaction to, you know, the previous generation's narrative makes it seem so extreme because like we had, like, before, when we saw, you know, couples on TV, that thing rolled out very slowly. Like sometimes you would watch, you know, Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, that's where we saw couples.
Yeah, but like one story would unfold the whole year.
Yes.
The whole year.
And still wouldn't finish by the end of the year.
No, hundreds. Yes. And then by August, we all like, I'm tired of this. You know, you hear our mothers,
I'm not watching.
I'm not watching. September, you hear.
They're watching with anger.
Yeah. And you want to see how, but there was longevity, the thing played. And so it almost felt real.
Right.
Compared to this internet stuff. And that's why I just have like such a visceral reaction. Hey, Ntwana, yabona. Because I'm like, it just feels like it's too much, bro. Like unfold it like Days of Our Lives, bro.
but then if they had to unfold it like Days of Our Lives, they'd have to show when they fight, and we don't want to see that as well, because that's like Krishan Rock and Blueface, where you're just like, hi, I'm guys. We don't want to see that.
No,
so
but
what
those
do we
people
actually?
are not fighting.
I don't know. I don't know when. I didn't know those people existed until my Instagram Explore page, and I was like, "Why? Like, who are these people? Why do they keep showing up?"
Those
like,
ones
anyway, but like so with the
why do you react? What are your sentiments towards Our Love Lives Here?
So the thing is, I just never buy that anything
Why don't you
is that
believe?
Good.
Okay.
But like just across the board.
Okay.
It's like even when the moms go, "Oh my gosh, I love every," I'm like, you love every moment with the baby, every single moment.
and maybe the more accurate statement is I like most of the moments. Not every, because every is a lie.
I remember seeing this TikTok, since I'm a TikTok mom. It was actually a mom TikTok where this woman
You're a
is like,
TikTok mom.
I'm not, please, I don't even laugh.
You're a
Anyway,
mother
I'm
on
just
TikTok.
gonna, like, my whole identity is in being a mother.
I know.
Anyway, so this woman is like embracing her child, but like, it's a lot, man.
Even
and it's
the
like,
child is sweaty.
Exactly. And there's like a cloudy filter, and the caption or whatever the text reads that if you invite me somewhere and my child is and it's not child friendly, I'm not coming because I'm obsessed with my kids. And then someone does a stage and it's two moms with wine just laughing like, what?
So basically that mom is not gonna attend any wedding.
No, she's not attending anything.
That's what I'm just listing. First of all, you're not, because weddings are clear. There's very few
She's
weddings.
not coming to your wedding. She's not coming to your bridal shower.
Done.
She's not. She might not even come to your birthday, because if it's a dinner at like a really nice restaurant, like.
Yeah, so basically anything in the evening, she's not gonna attend. Wow.
And when the baby's napping, because that's anyway. But my point is, me as Lily, but it's
Don't
not. It's
believe
not a
that.
good way to be. I know it's not a good way to be, to just always doubt everyone. But I think then what amplifies that doubt is because I'm married, right? Like, and I'm like, I'm a person, and I'm like, do we have amazing moments? Absolutely. Do we have trash moments? Absolutely. Do I feel the need to share everything? No, I don't. And here's the thing, like what you share, if you're like a person who you love to post your love lives here, do your thing, man. Like, and people love that stuff. I am just always like, So I've seen it like play out, like live in action. So there's this couple that I know, and this one day I'd gone to see the wife, and she was saying how I think it was the previous day she had wanted to go for breakfast or lunch with the husband, and he was cranky for his own things, whatever. But the point is, she was like, neither of them enjoyed the date. She was just like, it was almost like, let's just eat and go home, you know? And it was like, and I was like, oh, sorry, that sucks. But I'm like, maybe both under pressure, life is busy, whatever. But it's just like she was complaining most of the time I was with her. And then I get home, and like 2 hours later, she posts pictures from the date, the disaster date. But these pictures are beautiful pictures. It's the intertwined hands.
Because dog, we
with
don't
the
waste no
rings.
piece of content, son.
Like, and
Don't you follow Gary V?
I don't.
We don't waste any piece of content,
Sure,
bro.
yeah. I think, but here's the thing, right?
You can recycle content, Lillian, because the algorithm does not always show the same people what you posted, bro.
Okay.
So don't waste any piece of. We took pictures. The date was horrible.
We're gonna post these pictures.
We're gonna post these pictures.
We're gonna get these likes, these comments. And the thing is, like, I saw that, and I never had the courage to ask her directly.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, why did you post that, right? Like, why? Because in my mind, I'm like, isn't that more painful that you had to post this? And then, sorry, sorry. I know I'm taking.
No.
So
I was talking. I was engaging. Yeah.
But then I just don't want to lose this. But then I spoke to another friend of mine where I shared what I've shared with you. And then she gave me insight into an angle I'd never considered, where she was like, you know, sometimes when life, like your real life, is kind of sucky, you can create a version of your life on social media where you know it's not real life true, but in that moment, on that picture, it is true. And sometimes that's just the thing that makes you feel better or makes you feel happy.
You see that.
And but I think then I empathized more instead of being super judgy, which I was. But I still wish I could have asked her myself to be like, why did you post? Like, who was that for?
Yeah.
Was that just because? Here's the thing: nobody was at home saying, "Hey, I wonder how that date went." Like, you didn't have to post that, but you did, and then it makes me go, "Vele, all the love lives here." And maybe people look at our pictures and think, but it's just, it just amplified that feeling of like, why do we do that?
Yeah, and so for me, that dog, I'm like, I get the whole life sucks, and maybe putting it, you know, gives you a nice moment. I'm like, bro, sure. Again, me, I'm the wintering guy. Everyone winters their own way. It's fine.
Explain the wintering thing for the people who don't.
So the winter is just, you know, how do we deal with sad moments in its essence? How do we deal with sad moments? All of us are gonna find different ways of how to deal with sad moments. Fine, but I'm like, bro, at that moment, right? Are you not just perpetuating the narrative that you've already created for your audience? So your audience thinks, oh, love lives here. And so now we came from a date, the date sucks. And I am like, Jax, man, obviously I'm not going to post us fighting and the date was whack. I'm not going to go on Instagram live and just be like, hey, we had breakfast and this sucked.
And Lily was horrible.
Lily was whack. The chick was whack.
I mean, that would be content if Gary Vee was like that's content. That's going to go viral.
That would be nuts. But either way,
that's the point.
If you're going to try and you're not going to live past that thing. But I'm like, so one, you're not going to do that, nah? And then you probably think, okay, cool, like I need to post because we went on a date. And so part of you still wants to feel real, right?
Yes.
And you want to feel in the moment. We just went on the date now, so it's still fresh. So let me post, and maybe looking at those pictures, I might feel good, blah, blah, blah. But my audience is also going to have more building blocks into the narrative that we're creating, you know, that love lives here, etc., etc. So for me, I'm like, bro, you do enough of that stuff. Buffett, surely that stuff is going to mess with your mind.
That's what I think.
At some point, it might not mess with your mind now, but at some point you do enough of that stuff. And then I'm like, yo, man, you've just wasted an opportunity to actually get real with your person. Because I'm like, yo, man, if people are watching this podcast, for example, this stuff drops in a Tuesday. You guys expect the stuff to come on a Tuesday, right? That's fine. But I'm like, any other day, you're not expecting me to, or both of us to get on this thing and be like, wow, love continues to live here, right? It's okay, bro. And if you don't have a podcast, I'm like, people are not expecting you to drop at any specific day, whatever the case is. Instead of trying to continue to build a narrative for an audience that might not even be waiting for your stuff, yo, go talk to your husband, bro. Go talk to your wife and just be like, dog, that date sucked, you know? Hey, we took pictures. Look at these pictures.
I mean, I don't even know how they took pictures, because when we fighting, I'm not taking pictures.
No, stuff that. I'm not saying, dog, bro, I don't want to take no pictures. No, bro. No.
Like, why are you taking pictures?
I'm like, even if you have the courage to take pictures at that point, use that moment to be like, yo, man, like, look at how cool these pictures are. Why aren't we this cool? We're not this cool
but
because...
that takes being vulnerable and risking embarrassment.
If love lives here, love has to live here, bro. Why can't love live? If
love lives here, love has to live.
Bro, because right now...
The first bed...
Hey! Because here's the thing. Love lives here on Instagram. Right. But in reality... Love is renting, bro. Because it got kicked out that day.
Okay, like I know I'm reacting, but that's actually fire.
That's boss, bro.
You feeling yourself?
I'm feeling myself, B.
No, but that's real, dude.
Because that's what happens. We say love lives here, right? And we're like, wow, love has a mortgage. But in reality, love is renting. And the landlord came, right, and kicked love out. Who's the landlord? It's you guys not wanting to actually sit down, because that's who has power and authority at that point.
Right.
My pride, my anger, whatever the case is, and we can talk about that stuff because obviously we humans and we've had moments like that where our pride and anger prevented us from actually speaking.
Yeah.
But that's who the landlord is, and they come in and they're like, "Oh, love is renting. Get out," because pride has.
This is my spot.
Pride actually lives here.
Sure.
Pride and anger and all of this stuff actually lives here, right? So I'm like, no, man, let's not continue perpetuating a narrative that your audience might not even be waiting for, but deal with your person in real time. Because that's where love is gonna be a space is gonna be created for love to live, right? In those moments. Anyway, so. That's why I feel like sometimes, man, I'm like, for me, I find that stuff very corny, very cheesy, very poser-like, because I'm like, dog, we're just reacting again, you know? So, hey, my mother used to beg Azela. My wife is not going to beg Azela. So I'm going to get online and try and blah, blah, blah. Where I'm like, bro, don't, which is, I've said here before, I've said on other platforms, don't rob your real life for your online life. Don't do that, bro. Your online life is not sitting there saying, yo, son, I need to be fed, right? If it is, maybe you need to turn that thing off, right?
Because, I mean, if that were me, like, let's say that was our situation.
Yeah.
That exact thing, we go on a date, and we're not getting along, and you post my hand with I'd be outraged. First of all, why are you posting my hands? Because
Forget
you know
it.
how I feel about my hands. But second of all, why are you doing the whole?
two shall become one. Those are my hands.
Yeah, you know. So,
I
but
own
like,
them.
they are yours. Like you, this is you, dog. Let's not show them. So anyway,
Now people are
but
gonna look at your
I
hands.
know. I should have said that. Grace must take that out. But my point is, like, if you did that, I would be so mad. I'd feel outraged. I'd feel disrespected. I'd feel like you don't take us seriously.
Hundreds, bro.
Enough to be like, who are you doing this stuff for? You know, and I know with social media, it's so complex, right? Because I do understand the feeling of wanting to create a version of life that, you know what I mean? Because the real life can be so hard. And even if you're not in a relationship, like you can, you know, post yourself, oh, boss babe, going to work. And yet like you absolutely hate your job, or you absolutely, you were crying in the car. Like I get that, you know, and I don't know why there is a need to show success. I mean, that's probably like a whole other conversation. But I think when it comes to relationships, it's so sticky, like in that regard. But at the same time, you know, there is that thing where, so going back to now how we speak, I'm going to go back to using the conversation, the example of with a child. So I'm in a conversation with a bunch of people. We're talking about having kids or whatever. And I'm talking about like just the, you know, the difficulties, not like heavy stuff, just like things where it's like, oh, you're sleeping at night and then your child has to wake you up and wakes you up to ask for water or whatever the case may be, right? Listing all these, we're just talking. And then he was like, shucks, guys, what's actually good about having kids? And I realized in that moment that the picture I'd been painting unknowingly was very negative. And that's not the whole picture. But in that moment, just because of the context of that conversation, I think it was like, I think it was like 2 or 3 moms. He happened to be there and we're just like, oh yeah, this thing can be quite hectic. And he's like, yeah, guys, I don't know if I want kids because what's actually good about having kids?
Sure.
Right? And he might have found us in the specific part of the conversation, but I understood that, which then goes back to when people talk about how, you guys always talk about how hard marriage is and it's the ball and chain and I have to go back home to the wife. The husband is, you know what I mean? Where it's almost like we need to, I do think, especially in your communities, like share the truth. You don't want to be fake, but you also don't want to oversell or undersell.
It's the reaction
no one's
thing
asking
again,
you to
bro.
sell anything, but you get what I'm trying to say.
No, you have to. And that's what
Yeah?
I wanted to say. That
Okay.
like it doesn't matter what quote unquote institute you're in, you're an ambassador of that institute. So once you get married, you're an ambassador of marriage. Right? And then I was like, hey man, when ambassadors go and speak to people of different countries, they have to obviously represent the country well, represent, you know, the institute well. And very rarely will you get ambassadors when it's in public speak badly about their country. They probably have like 100 things that they think are very rubbish about their country, but they're not going to say that stuff in public. And at the same time, then we think, you know, I saw a meme today, in fact, where it's Superman and some guy who's dressed in a Superman wannabe outfit, you know, and then the Superman thing says how every country tells of his history, and then the Superman wannabe guy how history actually happened, right? And then
that's all of us, eh?
Yeah,
Sure.
and then I saw a comment that says, yeah, but that's so the thing was saying that's how America speaks of their history.
Okay.
And then somebody was like, yeah, but that's every country. And then I was like, I don't think it's South Africa. But anyway, I think we just like, this is how our history happened, right? My point is like, we always want to put our best foot forward. But when it comes to relationships, at least there might be other things, but since we're speaking about relationships and I engage in relationships, conversations quite a lot, it's the reaction thing, dogs, the reactionary thing. So then we talk about how hard parenting is or how hard marriage is, blah, 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 because there's 5,500 million love lives here. And we like, that's not true though. And so then we react. Saying. But then we also go into the other extreme and then we react, and we forget to be ambassadors. Right? So we like,
that's powerful.
Hey man, we want to say to all the other ambassadors of this institute, let's actually be fair in telling the whole truth. But then we spend more time correcting other ambassadors as opposed to saying, hey guys, for those who are outside, here's both sides, right?
Because it's a whole truth. Just because it's the bad part doesn't mean that that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And love lives here. There's some truth to that.
There's truth there as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't have walked down the aisle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Marriage is harder. Yeah, there's some truth there. It's not all hard, right? I'm like, we married doing this podcast. Not hard, right? We're enjoying ourselves here. We're chilling. We're talking, etc.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's nice to be here.
It's nice to be here. Why do we say that?
Anyway, let's not. So I think that's the thing where I'm like, can all ambassadors just be honest, and just be like, hey man, listen, there's 500 million things that are cool about my country. Yeah, but you'll also get mugged, bro.
Yeesh.
There's crime, bro, in my country.
Not.
Yeah, like come see all the tourist places. Stuff is dope. You'll enjoy yourselves. You can have nice holidays. There's cool spots to have wine, etc., etc. But if you walk down Bree Street, dog, and you looking like you don't know where you're going, you're gonna get marked, dog, at Bree, right? So don't walk at Bree if you're a tourist, dog, right? But Bree exists. It's part of South Africa, right? As much as the garden route exists.
Yes.
Bree exists.
It's all here.
Bro, Sandton is there, right? Hundreds, but there's also other dodgy parts. There's other dodgy parts in Sandton where it's like, if you live there, Joe, man, don't go there. It might be the richest squim, whatever, in Africa, but you can still get mugged in Sandton, dog, right?
Yeah.
So I think just be truthful and honest about all of that. Just is probably the best way to go.
And I think it goes for not only, I mean, I'm just thinking of this now, like not only being an ambassador for the outside looking in, but also for how you perceive what's happening. Because like in your own marriage. So like I was like recently realizing that it's like when you, I'm trying to think, like somebody tells you, oh, this thing happened.
Yes.
And then that thing happens and you think in your marriage and you think, yeah, after this happens to that person, then this and this and this, and then you're preparing for war, where it's like,
forgetting you're not the same people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I found myself sort of reacting to things I was afraid of happening, and I'm not talking like big things, right? Like obviously if we don't have to talk, like obviously if someone is like abusing you or whatever, that's a different, but it's almost like, black doesn't, put the cup in the sink. I remember when my friend said her husband didn't put a cup in the sink, then he ran away to Zimbabwe for 3 weeks.
And now he has another child.
Black
He's not going to put cups in the sink.
But literally that's kind of where, you know what I mean? Or you think, and how do I say this? And I think that's maybe me reacting to my own fears. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, be on the lookout. And some things, you definitely should be on the lookout. But sometimes nothing is, it's not all cookie cutter. So it's almost like I even have to remind myself that as someone is sharing their experience, it's their experience.
Yeah.
Just as our experience might not be, will not be, because there are no two exact people like us who are married to each other, I think.
Yeah. That would be trippy.
That would be wild. But weird, with the way the world is going now, like they could be, I don't know.
Weird,
I don't know. But I just think that's also another thing, especially sometimes when married people gather. I've found that where it's like, he did this and she did this, and then and then you actually go like, wait a minute, like I'm not angry at my husband. Me and my husband are fine. Like, that's you guys.
That's just poison. Yeah.
What is this? So almost just not falling as equally as you presented to the world, but even yourself.
Yes.
To be like, wait, what's happening here?
Yeah, and that thing. No, you are, and that thing is scary, man. And it would be fed by, this duality of living online and being in the real world. Because I'm like, why would I start believing things about my own marriage that are not true if I'm in my marriage? But it's because there's a narrative I'm believing that's outside of my marriage, like you're saying, so a friend of mine says whatever about his marriage, and then I'm like, oh, that's gonna be mine. Or I see something online, and sometimes this whole Love Lives Here is inspired by what we see online, because then what happens is,
you want to emulate that.
Yeah, what happens is you link up with your married friends in real life, and you're all complaining about your husbands. So then what do? After we leave, we go on social media and we look for the Love Lives Here couples, and then we all trying to emulate that, because when we come together, stuff sucks.
Sure.
Right? And so now if love lives here, but we gathered, we said everything sucks, and then sorry, hey, why do I keep hitting my microphone so much? Hey,
set.
Jesus, yeah, maybe love does not want to live here today.
Love is like.
Anyway, so I'm saying you gather together. Love doesn't live there. Everything sucks. Go back home, all in our bedrooms on social media, finding love lives here, other couples, and then we're like, oh, I want to emulate that, because you want to come back to the group and try and have a different story, which is why then you would believe a different thing about your own marriage, because you're in your marriage, so you need to see it for what it is, try and work out what's causing some of the issues, how you actually gonna let love live here, through the hardness of talking, through the hardness of sitting in each other's confusion, in each other's pain, understanding each other, etc., so that when I actually go back and link up with my friends, I have truth to tell.
Sure.
Right? About the goodness that we've worked at, right? Which is probably the thing we should probably get into, like working in your marriage, like. You work for a sucky marriage as much as you work for a good marriage.
Did you go there? What do you mean you work for a sucky marriage?
You work for a sucky marriage. You don't wake up and your marriage sucks.
Okay.
You worked at that thing, right? You worked.
No, I'm not okay. I'm just thinking it's a bold statement, because when someone thinks work, the idea is it's intention, it's focus, it's drive, it's determination.
Yes.
Like if you people who go to work every morning. Most of us, you don't want to wake up, but you wake up because I need to. There's a goal in mind.
Yeah.
So you saying that?
Yeah, you work at the thing. So you could both work at it, or one party.
Isn't it not working at the opposite thing, which then results as in the sucky situation?
No, so I'm saying, for example,
right?
Like we could both work at how our marriage ended up at a sucky place. So one, we can say, now we finished recording this thing, and then we take notes. Yeah, this thing sucked, and then a fight starts because I didn't say the right thing while the cameras were recording. Fight, and then go into our corners, right? Instead of actually sitting in that and saying, hey man, we're not gonna lose each other in trying to correct whatever mistake was done in the thing, because that's work. We're gonna work at correcting that thing, but instead we're gonna work to stay apart from each other.
Sure.
So we go into our corners.
Sure.
Because that takes work.
Sure.
Right?
It actually does. Like silent treatment takes work, guys.
It takes work.
Well, for me it does.
Bro, think having to walk
You have to remember that you're angry.
You're angry.
You walk in the house like,
Bro.
and then...
Yeah. Or you come in and you're like, hey, and then your spouse is like, hey, and you're like, shucks.
No.
Yeah, she said, hey, very, very happily. I need to remember that I'm angry. It's work.
Yeah, I mean, we're joking, but it's true.
It is work. And then you keep on putting in the work and reminding yourself how angry you are towards the person.
Yeah.
And they doing the same thing enough that you get to a point where your marriage sucks. You've worked at that thing, right?
Sure.
And sometimes it's one-sided. That the one person is working at fixing and the other person is working to just make it sucky.
Yeah.
Right? And so then you're working against each other. Right? And then your marriage ends up sucking. But and I would say it's obviously, again, the one person needed to work towards a positive outcome.
Sure.
But you're always working, right? And so I think the sometimes...
Sorry, I'm having a revelation.
Come on now.
Because it's sorry, it's playing out in so many different scenarios. Like
Yes.
when you think, I'm going to even step outside of marriage, like weight
Yes.
gain. When you
Yes.
realize you've gained weight and I don't know what happened. You're like, no, you worked at it.
at that
Like
thing.
you worked those burgers.
You worked at that thing,
those
bro.
sweets. Like but because you're just doing it in your mind, it's passive. So you
Yeah.
don't consider it as you made this happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Last night we were talking about fulfillment in our faith, and so we started talking about walking with the Lord, what a hard, easy, what were the other words? Were hard, restrictive, easy, or fulfilling, and we said it's all of the above, right?
Yeah.
And so where does the fulfillment come in, right? Because then when we think fulfillment, we're thinking positive, happy feelings, good stuff, etc., etc., etc. And then it's like, yeah, but the fulfillment comes at the end of whatever hardness, of whatever restriction, of whatever it is. Right? We don't get to fulfillment without all of those things. So you take, and I'll say his name, our good friend with strong thunder thighs, Paul, who goes to the gym, and I used him as an example last night. Right? I'm like, you look at Paul's legs. Like, Paul does not skip leg day, bro.
Never.
And not just leg day. Like, he isolates all the muscles.
Yeah.
Right? Like, his knee has a V, not just his thigh. Right? Like, he has VVs proper.
Like
right?
it's a stack. It's like cups.
Like this, bro. Like, he has. Anyway,
Yes, yeah.
but so I was saying, you'll get the person who stuffs themselves with like 15 pizzas, right? So I'm like, it's not hard to eat 2 slices of pizza. It's not hard. But eating 2 boxes of pizza, that is hard. Because at some point
You're uncomfortable.
You're uncomfortable. It's hard, right? And then downing 2 bottles of wine after eating the 2 boxes of pizza, that's hard because you're gonna wake up with babalas.
Your body's saying no more.
That's gonna be hard,
Right.
Parallel to that, Paul is at the gym, really putting in the hard work for his legs. That's hard. You sleeping, right, with a body that's like, I'm uncomfortable, you waking up with a babalas. Paul is sleeping with, my legs hurt, and then when he wakes up, he can't, when you start exercising and the next day it's tight.
Yes.
You both having a hard day, right? You continue down that road and you drinking 4 liters of Fanta. That's hard. Paul is drinking 4 liters of water and now he's exercising his arms. He's going to wake up with pain, right? After 3 months, Paul is fulfilled, right? Fulfilled, proper. You are filled with other things. But it's...
You are full filled.
You are full of and filled.
Overflow, running over.
But at no point can we say both of you didn't work. Y'all worked. Was it hard? It was both hard. But the one led to proper fulfillment. The other one led to fulfillment. Right? And this one looks good. This one feels good.
Yeah.
This one is ready to be carried for another 3 months.
Sure.
Now we have to reverse this one. Right? Back the
Which
3.
takes longer.
Which takes longer.
Right.
So I'm like, all of it is going to be hard. What are you working towards? Right? And so sometimes I think, love lives here. It's cool, bro. Love can live there. But at the same time, we need to talk about all the raps that you take when you go to the gym, dog.
Sure.
Right? And for me, I'm like, that's always been our content. Anything that we put out, we've never... Like, love lives here, dog. It does. But I'm like, love is going to live here very soberly. Like, you can go back to the first time we started this channel.
Yeah.
There was never a point where it was like, no, love lives here. I'm like, no, bro, we're going to unveil all of this stuff. Obviously, as much as we can unveil, not all our lives are on the internet.
Yeah, this is not Big Brother.
No, dog. No, forget that. Right? But at the same time, it's like, yo, man, like, we are happy. I love you.
Yeah.
I love hanging out with you. Our marriage is dope. It's been dope. We're good friends. But there's been some really hard moments, bro.
And I wanted to say, sorry, just...
Yeah.
I'm just... it's not segue, no.
It is.
Isn't it? It's not. It's really not segue. But because I'm remembering we had like a hard week sometime back. And what you're saying about you working towards this negative outcome.
Yeah.
I would have not wanted to hear that week.
No.
Like that would have. So I'm just saying, for someone who's in like a situation, hearing this, it's hard. It's like everything in me would have resisted to be like, no, because I'm right and I'm angry and I'm whatever and he's wrong and this. And like, but then obviously when we discussed it and we came out of that, and I admitted to you that I was so, like, I was holding on to my pride. Like, even in the moments where I felt myself like, yes, maybe you need to tone it down a bit. I was like, no, but I'm angry. Yeah. I'm gonna stay angry.
I need to be angry.
And I'm not an angry person. Like, I don't do well with anger.
Yeah.
But I was even like, I'm not gonna be sad. I'm gonna be angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so like in that state, if I had heard this word, I mean, like, if I had heard what you said, it would have been a tough pill to swallow. But when I look back, I'm like, that's exactly what I was doing. I was working towards
both of us
staying angry and working towards, the distance and that's yeah. And also I need to say one more thing. I feel like I've been humbled in this conversation with Love Lives Here. Because because I saw it so much and I saw it in such a, I guess I was desensitized really. You know what I mean? It's like the guy walking down you walk into Spa and the guy goes, hey, I love you. And you're like, okay. You know what I mean?
What are you saying?
Like my husband loves me.
What are you saying?
What are you even saying? So it felt like
Go
that.
Go take a bath, bro. I love you.
I love you. Like, ooh. So, but like, I think, I was saying that I think I just got so desensitized to because I think the first time that phrase sort of started coming, I don't know when it was created or when it sort of boomed online. It was like, oh wow.
Reaction, bro.
And then it just was a lot. Like, it's just love lives here, love lives here. You're posting a picture of a gearbox, love lives here. Okay. But actually it's when you like the way it's like even you using the rent thing or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, love lives here. It's actually quite powerful. It's actually quite like in saying I want love to live here. That's I don't know, like just that
and maybe that's even a better phrase, bro.
What?
That's even a better phrase.
What? I want love to live here.
And that's more realistic. I want love to live here means that I acknowledge that at any point with my actions or our actions, we can make love rent. So I want love to live here means that every moment I wake up, I am trying to I want love to live here, right? So
welcome here.
I'm intentionally trying to put in the work so that love lives here. I never take for granted because I think part of what makes that statement very shallow and that movement is that it's like love lives here and you take that for granted. When love doesn't live here, then we're forcing to take the picture and put it on Instagram so that we can prove to the world and ourselves that love does live here. But love is renting at that point, so sometimes it's even evicted. But if I say I want love to live here, then I'm like, dope, man.
That's gonna make you turn around and say, let's talk.
Yes, because I want love to live here.
Whew.
Love is not living here right now. It's evicted or it's renting. Dog. Let's actually pause. Let's not go on Instagram. Let's talk about how love can live here, bro.
So next time we fight, I'm going to be like, I want love to live here.
Hey.
I'm so serious.
Yeah.
And you must know that that's me.
That's dope, bro.
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
I think that's dope, bro. I think this is the first time we contributed something amazing to the internet.
What about on the couch with the newborns? Isn't this amazing?
Yeah, obviously the platform, but I'm just saying this gem, dog, like... Yeah, see, I want love to live here is a phrase you should throw in when you're fighting, because then it says to the other person if they're not a dog. Right?
That's another,
Because then you can say that, and that's the weight of the vulnerability that comes with that statement. I could just spit on that and walk away.
It is, and that's what vulnerability is.
That is crushing. Double time, bro.
Yeah.
Because already you crushed by whatever we're fighting about. And if you say that and I turn around and don't acknowledge the weight of that.
Or like meet me there. Like also be uncomfortable.
Speaking about the week we were fighting, you didn't say I want love to live here, but you said something to that effect. And that broke me. And not like, oh, I'm dead. But you were hard. I was hardening as well. And you said, yo, man, right? Like, effectively, I want love to live here. That thing, I was like, I melted. I didn't turn around because I could have been like, I saw. But at that moment, I was like, dang, like, yo, man, right? And again, like I told you this, I've never played a voice note as much as that voice note. Yes, I played.
And I was so scared to send it. I was like, oh.
I played that voice note.
At me. I'm angry at him.
Like a song, bro.
Sure.
I told you by the the following day, because you weren't here, the following day, I could recite that voice note word for word. That's how much I played it. Like literally.
You must favorite it on your WhatsApp so that when you're angry at me.
I've emailed it to myself. I've emailed that voice note to myself.
When you're angry with me and I haven't come to say I want love to live here, go listen to that voice note.
That's gonna be hard.
I know. Is that too much to ask?
It's gonna be hard to just play it myself.
Delete email.
You know it's gonna be crazy. You know it's gonna like crush me double time.
Yeah.
As if you come into the room playing it. like
just
you,
at night, put it by your ear.
You pissed me off proper, and you just come here like, remember this? That's gonna crush me double time.
That'll be wild.
I want love to live here. That is a gem, bro.
I think I like that.
That's a gem.
Because that also says, like what you said, that we might fall, we might falter.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess it's for different people. Hey, I think there's some people who do see that stuff. You know, but the kid, like, you know, the gearbox with the men's watch in the picture. Yeah, those maybe we're the broken ones. Like everyone else is in the sun.
I am happy to
feeling
be broken.
And we are these like the kids in the back of the class. Who are
I
just
am happy to be broken. I cannot listen. I like my cheese and nachos, and knickknacks.
And what?
And knickknacks.
Oh.
Knickknacks, and I like my cheese and burgers. I do not like my cheese on my screen, bro. I don't like cheese on my screen.
That was cheesy.
It is.
That was like uncomfortably cheesy.
I know. That's how I feel about those
like,
things. That's how I
your
feel
back
about
curls.
them. That's exactly how I feel. I was like, bro, please, man.
Stop it.
Yeah, see, this whole time we've been talking, there's like a couple I've been seeing in my head. That's bad. So yeah, you know, it's easy then to come up here and say, you know, there's some cringy things about Love Lives Here, and trying to at least have a balanced view.
Yeah, I think balance is
of this thing. Yeah, bro. Some people, anyway. I'm not trying to trigger stuff in you, but some people just post like they're getting paid, bro.
I am pretty certain of arrangements where people post to get paid. Like we need that. We need that love. We need to see. We gotta go.
But there's other people who post like they get paid.
Yeah, there are people who like
where you're like, you don't have to do this.
I think, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe that comes from how we engage with social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So, because for some people, social media is an outlet. It's like it's a diary. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's like somebody hears me. You know, the fact that like 5 people viewed your status makes you feel heard. And I'm not saying that to be funny, like genuinely.
But I'm just
right?
saying, if you like scratching each other's eyes out, why would you then?
Because in my mind, I feel like you're just gonna go home to a bigger fight now.
Yeah,
aren't you?
I know, but I'm just saying, like, at the same time, if it and I'm not saying it shouldn't be your outlet. But we have to admit that this thing has rules. And one of the biggest rules is Instagram is not going to push your content if it's horrible. And by horrible, it's showing the truth of how fighting and scratching.
No, it will push the content if it's absolutely shocking. But it's not going to push the content if it's like, oh, he didn't mop the floor.
Yeah.
Anyway. That.
But it's fine.
It must be shocking, or it must be the watch in the gearbox.
Yeah, and that's and maybe that's where the extremes come from. Yes. The extremes are the matrix is set up that way.
And unfortunately, being the creatures we are, we find ourselves trapped in that as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. But I always think, so obviously I've always, having been in like, my career has always been one that is about being in public.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what it's like to engage with social media outside of being being Lily Million. You know what I mean? Like when I see people like, oh, you've got like 150 followers and your page is private, like that must be amazing. I've thought of doing that, but I'm too lazy to have 2 profiles. Like, that's what WhatsApp is for. You know what I mean? Because those are my people. But it's like so maybe that's also another thing where there's a feeling of, and maybe, I think what I'm trying to say is maybe if my experience was different, I wouldn't think of, you know, the public so much. I wouldn't think of, why are you communicating this to the people versus for the person, I'm just putting this out there. It's not a big deal. So maybe that's also my own bias, so to say. You know, I don't know. Anyway.
5 things that you would say for you indicate that love lives here.
Wow, like you just came at me with a list, and I'm gonna like say random things so that I have time to think.
No,
Why don't you go first?
So
Or we can articulate. We can.
I'm fine. My English is not living
I need to go
here
to
for
bed.
you
I need to
today.
go to bed.
Hey.
English went on a break.
Huh?
English is on leave.
Alternate.
We can alternate.
Okay.
Yes.
So one thing that says love lives here.
Wait,
for
is
me-
this for us or for like
for us?
general?
For us.
Oh, okay.
We don't
cool.
know who General is. We're not married to General.
I'm glad you said that. Yes.
It's for us.
Mm.
So for me, one has been the past 9 years our communication.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me that love lives here. We've been people who, have worked at how we communicate, have been intentional about how we communicate. So I don't think communication. Yes, there's people who are gifted at just communicating, but in a marriage, it does get tricky because you're dealing with like a multitude of things. So you're dealing with yourself, your sin, your spouse, their sin, upbringings, etc., expectations, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, even the most gifted communicator, like I think in marriage, you're going to be tested, bro. And you can't come with your performance in marriage, right? So I'm like, unless you both just perform as J and you're gonna perform for each other till you die.
That's tiring.
That's gonna be hard. It's gonna be.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Now.
Yeah.
But I think over the years, and we've grown over the years, and again because life takes us to different points. So sometimes life takes us to like, oh, this is amazing. And that amazing moment shapes our communication in a specific way. Life takes us to like really low points, and that shapes our communication in a specific way. So wherever we are, I've seen how that season, that moment has forced us to develop new ways of talking to each other. So when I see how, which has obviously been on the internet for a minute, your depression hits you, and how that forces you to learn ways of talking to me, and then for me to learn ways of how to speak to you through all of that noise. And then once we come out at the end of a specific moment, not that your depression is over, but at a specific moment, when we come out of it, then I'm like, oh, smack, like that thing has forced us to, speak in a different way. Like one thing I've said to you recently is just how more gracious like I've been in just how I approach speaking to you, etc., So for me, your communication indicates that love lives here. And how we grow in that, It's never put on, it's never fake, it's never, it's just like, okay, cool. Even when we're stumbling and we can recognize that in each other, where I'm like, Taxi, this chick is stumbling through this stuff, like she wants to make a point, but like she's trying to find herself, protect me, be loving, but still be authentic and honest, and there's a level of grace that we exercise towards each other that's like, okay, I can hear what you're trying to say, and I'll meet you there. So anyway, I'm gonna start making all these 5 points about this 1 point.
It's a great point. I was just like, are we sure we want to do 5? Because we might be here for another hour.
Girls, I'm here.
I'm trying to think of which one to do because I don't want you to steal mine.
That's fine.
Okay, it's cool. I'm going to go with the one that I was initially going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as... Anyway, it's fine. Laughter.
Yeah?
Yeah, like it's...
Yeah.
Like, I know when we haven't laughed in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I know like we are caught up in the everyday ticking boxes, which you can do with anybody, right?
Yeah,
you don't need to be married to someone to just like, you do this, I do that, but I'm like, laughter is such a big thing.
Yes.
Like those times where it's like 2 a.m. and we're just dying at like something. Sorry, Miami. What is it
Name
again?
something that rhymes with yummy. My yummy. But you know, the thing that kills me with that is that even his own friends.
I was like, Steve Harvey was like,
the white guy was just like, nah, bro, we're not taking you home with us.
He tried to play on his Latino accent.
Yeah.
Miami, no.
And he didn't even say Miami.
Miami. And like, we laughed at that for like hours. Like, we just laughed. And it was great. Like, it's just.
Oh, I think it was the best.
It like, when we're laughing, it's just like, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, we good. I can do this thing. I can do this thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, now I'm going to talk about dead people again.
Unalive people.
Unalive people. Anyway, hi guys, sure.
So tiring.
But like, you know, when people talk about, oh, you know, people were married for 50 years and the one spouse died or whatever and what they miss the most. I'm like, you know.
I think if you die, I'm going to die 2 weeks later, bro.
Didn't that happen with
my grandparents?
Yeah. Well, he was just like, nah, fam, I can't do this.
Yeah. No, I think we all knew it.
And he just was like, he exhaled. He was done.
No, like proper. I think he was just like, as soon as that thing happened, like he kind of gave us all the look that like y'all have 2 weeks. I'm out, bro. Right? Anyway, and he vibed, but we knew it.
I mean, that's kind of beautiful. I mean, we're all gonna die, so nobody was get depressed. But I'm like, it's kind of beautiful. It's beautiful, actually. But I'm like, that's if we make it, if Lord willingly we live for that long, and we, you know, we guys make it to that side. Not too old, because I also don't want to be like, too. Like, those people like, my grandmother's 100. I don't want that. I don't.
I want it, but I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick.
That's why I'm gonna leave you behind, because I'm like,
be sick. Maybe here's the thing, where like you die first, and then you think he's gonna come in 2 weeks, and then I'm like, nah, son.
I'm chilling.
Peace, bro.
You're like, oh, this man,
I'll see.
He's coming.
Like, it's coming. Nah, son, I'm not.
You being late would be on brand though, so that's okay.
Wow.
I'm coming. I'm 20 minutes away.
Wow.
10 years later.
Wow. But if you're South African, you know, that's what we mean by now.
Yeah. Now could be any time.
Bro.
Literally any time.
I can say I'm coming now, and I'll see you next year. It's now.
Well, like, it's 8 o'clock. I'll see you at 6.
See
you now.
I'll see you now.
But anyway, I was getting to a point. Like, if you went first, that's the one thing I'd say I'd miss. Like, just the laughter. Like, proper just laughing. What? Oh, yes. You are my unpaid personal comedian. And I'm also a comedian sometimes.
Like,
I make myself laugh.
I'm a clown. Nah? But like, you hilarious, bro.
Thank you.
Like, when... Like, you don't have... Like, I'm just a clown. So, like, every danger, whatever, right? But, like, when you hit, see, that's fire.
There'll be a big moment.
It is an explosion. Like,
so that's
hella funny.
Thank you. That's my number one.
No, we're doing 5 combined, bro.
Oh, I thought it was 5-5. That's why I thought we'd be here for an hour.
Like, that's 10.
Oh, that's terrible communication. Exactly.
Anyway. Wow. We did both things at the same time.
Okay, but then one of us is going to have 3 and one of us is going to have 2.
We'll do 6 then.
Okay, cool.
So I was actually going to say off of the back of that friendship.
That's the one I didn't want you to steal from me.
Oh, I didn't hear you properly.
I didn't say it. Oh, I was going to say laughter or friendship. Then I said, let me just go with the one I thought of first, which was laughter. So anyway, go ahead, friendship.
I thought you said the opposite. So not that I will steal it from you, that you didn't want me to steal from you. No, you to steal from me. Right?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I mean, yeah. Like I think our friendship always indicates that love lives here for me. Like we were friends before we got married, and I think that's been a great, like pillar. That's been a great, like building block. It's been a great, like the thing that also holds us. And especially when it was rough, except that 1 week where we just didn't love each other. But I always think, man, this is my friend, dog. Like, chill, bro. Like, your friend would not do this to you, right? Like when obviously, you know, the monsters are like, this chick is nuts, bro. This chick is nuts. And I'm like, y'all are nuts. This is my homie, son.
Cue the voice note.
Right. So yeah, so I think our friendship is that and it keeps growing, you know. Like we are friends longer than we've been married.
You mean like when you count everything?
Yeah.
Our entire time together.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Like, our entire time together is us being friends. We've been married less than us being friends. We were married for 9 years. We've been friends for what, like 15?
Are you counting including our marriage
Yeah.
years? Okay,
Like, we
cool.
didn't stop being friends when we got
I
married,
know.
bro.
I just wasn't sure what was happening. I'm sorry, because I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah,
yes,
man,
yes, 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 yes,
you're my
yes,
jam.
yes, yes, yes.
And
yes.
this is not to say that like our friendship is more important than our marriage. I think our marriage is obviously a bigger commitment. But friendship has been like such a great building block in this whole thing, you know. And I think it makes the marriage that much greater for me and for us, I think, in our experience. So friendship tells me that love lives here, you know. Yeah.
I think that's the one thing, that's the one cheesy hashtag I could use if I were to go with cheesy hashtags.
What?
The marry your best friend.
That's not cheesy.
It is, because that's what people say in the movies, marry your best friend. But I'm like, actually, there's
I don't
some
think
truth
that
to
thing
that.
is cheesy though.
No, man. I'm
You
not
know
saying
why?
it's untrue. I just mean like it sounds so airy fairy.
You know why?
Like people don't get married. People don't always marry their besties.
That's why I don't find it cheesy. Something that's cheesy for me, I'm like, yeah, see, like every corner you go, that thing is there.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't find this cheesy because it's very rare, bro.
It just sounds like a cliche.
Yeah.
But it's not, maybe not a reality for many
It's
people.
not a
but
reality
then,
for
I
many
don't know.
people.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I don't find it cheesy in that regard where I'm like, my dog, like, yeah. I don't think I think you can develop a friendship in marriage.
Yeah.
That I strongly and firmly believe. And again, friendship thrives because of proximity. Right? Like you play with people who live in your streets, people who you live with in your block of flats, people you go to school with. It's always proximity. And I'm like, who's the person you're closest to? It's your spouse, right? So I'm like, you should try at least work hard at building a friendship. Why are you looking at my fingers?
I'm looking at the blanket.
Oh,
Sorry.
anyway. So yeah, proximity, bro. And I'm like, you sleep with this person in the same bed, you in the same house, you know. So friendship should at least, at least develop, bro. I'm not saying everyone is gonna develop it because I know for some people it is hard, but I think you can because of proximity. Yeah.
That was 3. Number 4, I don't know how to like articulate this one, but it's for me, it's the feeling of, and I stole this line from a movie, being able to be alone together.
You stole that from a movie, dog. I thought that was yours.
No, I remember watching it. I don't remember what the movie was called, but the couple have a fight.
I feel cheated now.
Haibo.
Robbed.
Did you think I? Okay. Anyway, thanks for thinking so highly of me as a writer. But
You say amazing things.
I don't
bro.
even know if it originates from that movie, right? I mean, the concept is not original. It's just
Okay.
the way the guy put it together. But this couple have a fight. He's angry about something else, which then makes him cranky, and then they have a fight. And then he's like, I just need to be alone. And then she's like, okay. And then she's like leaving the room. And he's like, no, don't go. Just like stay here. Let's be alone together. Like, and I remember seeing that. I'm like, yeah, that's like a thing. Because I think for me, like, I obviously, like, I genuinely enjoy my solitude. Like, and I wasn't the girl having sleepovers with all her friends. So like, I like to know what's going to happen. I like my space. I like to, yes, right? But, and I never totally thought it was possible to feel so at ease with someone that you can feel alone but still with them and not feel like you have to perform or like do something. You know what I mean? So it's like yeah, even if like we're both chilling and watching memes at the same time, but we're doing it together. But like, but I'm by myself, but we're together. I don't know why that's so important for me, but like it is, because it makes me feel secure. It makes me feel like, okay, it makes me feel like you don't have to be doing something. You don't have to be making conversation. You don't have to be impressive right now. You can just be. And that's really nice. Yeah.
That's dope.
Thanks.
That's dope. Yeah.
That's 4. We have 2
Yeah.
to go. Are you?
That's dope. No. I was thinking, I know what my next one is. I was thinking of, a comment I wanted to make about that, but I was like, it's fine.
Okay.
So number 5 is, so it has to do with dreaming, and I'm like, we can't have a newborns podcast without talking about dreaming. But anyway, but somebody sent me a thing, and it was a very long, and I don't like reading long posts. Especially
I don't.
if
Yeah, I
it's
like read the words.
Especially I'm a cascade where it's like 10 of them, and all of them have dialogue.
Oh no!
So it's not even one person talking; it's 3 people in every picture. Anyway, but it was this long thing about this dude takes his girlfriend home, and then the brother is the one writing this post about his brother bringing this girlfriend home.
Okay.
And then the girlfriend, ticks all the boxes. She doesn't talk too much. She laughs at all the jokes. She works at a bank. She's a master's student, and she cooks with the mom. So she's gonna be a perfect one. Anyway, so she went off and cooked with the mothers, and then the brothers went and sat with the father, and then the father's telling them about this moment that the mothers are having, and what kind of person they need to end up with or whatever, right? So the gist of this whole speech that the father gives is how you're supposed to be with a person who doesn't end up in like later on in life resenting you because like you stole all their dreams away from them, and they basically lived in this marriage to serve you and worship you and idolize you, right?
Not a good place to be.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, I mean, now, like, we shouldn't idolize each other and worship each other, etc., etc. I do think we should serve each other, but anyway. So the whole thing was, how do you then, because then the dad was like, yo, I still encouraged your mother to go to school, even after she had all of you kids, and I'm guessing she probably went to school when she was in her 50s, and whatever, to pursue whatever dream she wanted, and the mothers are happy. Sure.
Go girl.
Yeah, dope. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, that's cool. But then I thought, hey man, like that, and the thing does work both ways, and that's what that post said. And I'm like, that's the thing. I think that always reminds me that love lives here. Like, yeah, bro, I would not have done half of the things I did if I was probably married to somebody else, right? And I think vice versa as well. If I'm wrong, you'll tell me. But I'm like, our marriage, and particularly you, have afforded me space to just dream. Crazy dreams. Go out, pursue them. Where I'm like, I could see, like, side of my eye, I'm like, this chick is probably suffering. And she's thinking to herself, this thing is stupid, but I'll let him just fly, bro, and do his thing, And I've had that moment as well where I was like, hey, it's okay. Like, she can go do this thing, but hey, this thing is shaky here. But I want you to thrive. I want you to, be the best that you can be. Really do your thing, whatever. Because again, I'm like, and if it's selfish, man, deal with it. Like,
deal with it.
No, hundreds. Where I'm like, if this chick succeeds, bro, so
Oh, 100%.
And vice versa.
Yes.
I work hard. I try and like achieve all the dreams I have, implement stuff, do that. Because
when you get a gig, that's our gig.
It's our gig, bro.
Was I there? No. But that's our gig.
Hundreds.
Yes.
Right? But again, it's just so dope when like you can just do what I believe God has instilled in you, created you for, etc., and to see that. I was driving with David 2 days ago, yesterday, I forgot, and we were just talking about like, had we decided to go different ways in our lives and our careers, where we would be materially, and I was like, yeah, sure, dog, like he studied finance, Like if you finished that thing, bro, and just went there, I probably would have more money than you have now, live at a different place, etc., etc. But you probably would be plagued, right? Because we're all about calling and gifting and passion and wanting to do our stuff.
Conviction.
And you'd be plagued.
Sure.
Right? You'd be living in a very, very, 10 times bigger than the house you're living in, but now you'd be plagued. And that's the thing for people like us, where it's like, yeah, sure. Can these things work together? Right?
Yeah.
Can conviction, calling, passion, etc., etc., be able to afford me the life that I want to live, right? And so I'm like, it's dope that in our marriage, that's been like just a pillar, bro. That's been a key thing. That's been, again, one of the foundational blocks of our marriage, where it's like, and that's how we want to raise Zaya. That's what, and we always praying, even for us as parents, that we would have enough resources to support what she wants to do. Obviously, we're not saying, if now she just wants to go, whatever, I don't know, like play with mud, and she's like, oh, this is my passion. And I was saying, like,
let my child play with mud, man,
for a living.
I mean, if somebody's paying her
to
make mud castles.
Wow. Anyway, we'll get there we'll see it when we get there. Right? But I'm like, that's been just one of the key elements of our identity as a couple, as a family, that we just dreamers, man. And we not just want to live in the clouds, but we want to actualize our dreams, and we want to put support behind that, resources, obviously love living in us, pushing each other to dream. We want to invest love, we want to invest time, we want to invest support, we want to invest encouragement, etc., etc., and sometimes criticism, so for me, anyway, dreaming has been that, and just propelling and pushing each other to be not just dreamers, but people who live out their dreams.
Yeah, like who do the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, 100.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was always there. Like one of my earliest memories of you at varsity is you telling me about your dream to have a label and how we were gonna, like, that's literally.
Yeah.
So my one, the last one, has been, again, when people talk about love being tested, whatever, I don't want to be tested. I just want to be, I want to be at ease. I don't want to suffer. No. Can it just be wonderful?
Yeah.
But I think like 2020, 21, 2022.
21.
Those 3 years, I think, was like major tests.
We got a degree.
We faced major tests, and we did. And we don't need more education. We're fine.
I don't want to be a master.
I don't want to be PhD. It's fine. But for somebody like me, who being pessimistic and when I say I'm pessimistic, it's not like I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? It's not a nice place to be in. It's just to always expect the worst, right? It's just, it is what it is. Anyway, that's not the conversation we're having. But even getting married, I was like, hey, this thing's going to end now. And I think what we went through in those 3 years, I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about. Like, because I'm like, if you had been like, hi, babes, I tried.
I'm out.
I'm tired now. You can go back home to your 3/4 bed. I would have been like, Maka, I get you.
Yeah.
Like, I get you, dog. It's cool. Like, so I think that it was like for somebody to see you or see me at my worst. So yes, my friends knew, my family knew what I was going through, what we were going through, but it was here.
Yeah.
You were seeing it.
Yeah.
And to be like, not only is it like, I'm staying because I made a commitment, but like, you actually want to be here.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. It made me want to take care of myself more.
Sure.
You know what I mean? To be like, shucks. Like, yeah. So that was like just it made me want to do better, get better.
Yeah.
Fight harder.
Yeah.
And do all the stuff. And so that being able to be at your lowest, ugliest, horriblest place and to still be loved is my love lives here. I don't know. I feel like I could have phrased that better.
That's perfect.
Or knowing that's a real thing.
Because love is not supposed to live there.
Yeah. Not according to, it's not.
Not even according to that situation.
Yeah, it's
The
not.
past 3 years, love was not
It's not-
supposed
was like,
but
nah.
that's the
But I-
perfect environment to
Yeah.
realize whether love lives there or not.
But I feel like you kept it here.
Hmm.
Honestly, like I never said that, but I really think you like,
Sure.
yeah, you were. Anyway,
Sure. I want love to live here.
I want love to live here too. I love you, man. Kind of cool, my man.
Sure, I am.
Now I'm uncomfortable.
Peace.
How? Just like that.
That's a perfect note to end it on.